in my channel today. Hope you are doing good and great with a God grace. So today we are on the day number 5 session. In the last 4 session we learned about a lot of things, and in the specific last 2 sessions we learned about the client side scripting. Now we are going to be start on the server side script, which includes the UI action, business rule, and the access control scripting, and many more things. So let's start today's session. This is the same favorite place which I like always. So in this particular session we are going to be discuss these 3 major parts, and we are going to be discuss that how and when to write the server side script. This is important because from the interview perspective, this question has been asked that when to write a server side script, or maybe it has been rephrased like this: what are the use cases being a developer you suggest or you recommend that when and how to write a server side script. So to reach this point, let's start with the business rule. Business rules are the first basic technique, or I can say the method which has been used in the server side scripting. Business rule basically, it is, if I say as per this book, they consider this as a configuration rather than the customization, but majority of our requirement done via customization only, because we need to be add some kind of a script on the business rule. That reason it is called the first one and the foremost use the business rule. What this says that this allows us to run our server side script at a different time based on that action that occurred to a record. That why business rule is required. Like I say, if I submit this record, only then user should able to get a message. This is one of the example which we can put on the business rule. Once the data has been saved, only then the user ID or the roll number or the examination ID or the booking ID should be generated. In this case, data is gathered from the form level and sent back to the database level. So in this part, there are 2 main things are required in the business rule. Let me take you on the tour here in the place here. So now here you can see this is the interface for the business rule. It says when to run and what action you want to take it. I'm not going to be discussed on this part. You can achieve your functionality, you can achieve your business need by these some actions as well. But if you are still not able to achieve, then you need to be use the scripting. And if you are not using scripting, then you can use the business rule either on insert or either on update. What this mean? If I am creating a new record, that is called the insert. If I am updating the existing record, then it called the update. Now the question come, Atul, where we can mark the script, because it don't have anything available here like in the client script. So you can put this advanced here. As soon as you click on the advanced, 2 new boxes has been appear here, and 1 and 2 boxes appear here. Let me remove this and see. So I click on the advanced. When I click on the advanced, it brings one more tab that is called the advanced. That why or how or when you want this to be run and what action you want to take on the place. Because I already using a script which is using a what I can say business rule which is already be configured on the sys user table. Okay, so what it says, when to run. So when I say when to run, before, after, asynchronous, and before display, or I can say display. And on the basis of this when, we have to be select insert, update, delete and query. Let's come back here and discuss a little bit more in these 4 sections. These are the, when the first viewing the business rule form, there are the 2 options available which we discuss, insert and update. When you click the checkbox, advanced checkbox, this one, then these 4 more options also appear. Let me show you here. This one. Insert means when a new record inserted. We are not talking about the before after. We'll discuss that a little later. Insert means when I am creating a new record. Update when I am going to be update the existing record. Delete when you want to run, or when you want to delete some record. And query when something gets searched, you want to display some that part. That is called the query here. What this book recommend, the when field is actually important here. We are talking about this when. Basis of the when, these action can be taken. Like if I say when or maybe display, then nothing is coming here. It means when this business will run, it will only display the specific condition. If I say asynchronous, I still have a 4 option. If I say after, I still have a 4 option. If I say before, I still have a 4 option. So what they say is the time that a business will run is also dependent on the value of when. Here the 4 part. Run before the record save, run after the record save. These 2 we generally use, we know. What is the asynchronous here? Asynchronous basically used when you want to queue up something. When you want to run via some scheduled job, right? Like if I say, I want all the incident which has been created today and the priority is P5, then one problem record should be created and all the incidents should be mapped there. That is the asynchronous, because you are running a scheduled job. Scheduled jobs or the scheduled job scripting is the advance in the server side script, which we are going to be discussed in the upcoming classes. And finally, the display, run before the form is loaded. It doesn't mean that it is be running after it is running before the form is loading, and it is just fetching the results from the database. Like as soon as a user logged in and he click anywhere, the front page has been loaded. That is called the display here. Okay. Now what it says, what is recommending here, it is best to use the before business rule when you are updating the record itself. It says whenever you want to be save the record, click it as a before business rule. Then the changes have been made before insert update, also recorded in the only update goes the once. It means if you think that in your query, in the form level, you want to be something to be validated, and before you save that record in the database, do all the validation and only then ask the business rule to be save it, so that only once the query go to the database. After business rule is used when the script does not affect the current record. In this case, script can be done after a save. So these are the 2 major use cases, when and after. And from the development perspective, this question has been asked a number of times in the interview. Asynchronous, when you want to run something in the future, not immediately you required, not the straight away you required. And this can be done queuing up the events for a notification. Like I want that in the night time, 5 o'clock, the email should go out. Then I can put the asynchronous. Display business rule are best to use, hold the data in the scratchpad so that client script can be utilized. So in this part, in the display business rule, query is coming from the database, it's saved in the scratchpad. And then if client script required something, they can utilize this data. This is the 4 mainly definitions of the, or mainly parts of the business rule. Now, what to do and how to do. Let's come here. As we say advanced, because we are not going to be discussed that what to do with these business rules. When you click on the advanced, it open the 2 boxes here. So let me open any new business rule here. Sorry. Let me open that. Okay, it's taking time. Okay, it's opening now. Let me close this one. This one. So when I click on the advanced here and I can go here, these two are the parameters which are required. It says on which condition this script should be run. We are talking a lot about the script, but we need to be understand script is just a part of the business rule. Actually, we are saying when this business rule should run, when the condition met, then this action should be taken. So here we have to be define the condition, that what condition I am saying, and how I can do that part. I am saying if the current dot category is equal to network, this is what I am putting a condition here. What I'm saying, I want to be run, let me say LNGBR, I want to be run on the incident table. And what I say, let's say before insert or before update. I know it will not work on my system because we already have a lot of things done. So need to be remove that part. So advanced says when to run current dot category. It means go to the incident table, get the record and check the category is equal to network or not. Now it means in the background it is calling the glide record automatically because it is getting the object there. So when the category is equal to network, then what action you want to do, I'll say make current dot impact. So I can go here and write my code. Current dot impact is equal to 1. It means where the category is equal to network, then make the current dot impact. It means for that particular record, make the impact is equal to 1. This is what this particular client's business will do. Here two parameters we have to be remembered. Current and previous, and they are saying that null when asynchronous. If you want to make sure that it is always asynchronous, then either put null or don't put any comment or parameter here. Otherwise it is a parameterized current and the previous. What is current and what is the previous value you are be putting here. So by this way, and this is the execute E. If I put alt here, execute E rule, this is the major function which is be using in the business rule. So I'll explain this part. So the execute E rule. So if you can see here, execute E rule. Execute E rule function that provided with the two parameter current and previous. Current is the object that hold the current value of the record when the business rule trigger. It means this thing holding this part, that what is the current value in the impact, and previous means that hold the value that value of the record before any update were made, essentially holding the previous value. Previous only can be used with the update and the delete, not the insert, because in the time of insertion the previous value is always be a null or maybe some default value will be there. So this is the way that we write the business rule for the our scripting part. So now you can see here. Now what is the next point is coming in the server side scripting, that is called the UI action. Again, we are not going to be discuss much on the UI action because this is not the part of the scripting, but how the UI action will be look like. It is number one, it is a method or technology, or I can say way, which is be used in the both side, server side and the client side. In the last session we discussed that how the UI action can be used for the server side, where we will be calling UI action in the server in the UI action name. So what it will look like, how it will look like, let me come here, let me save this part and let come here, and I put search for the UI action here. UI action, another, this one I can put it. So UI action basically, as I told earlier as well, all the buttons, if I open this, okay, all these buttons you are seeing, new button, either you're seeing this list view, or either if I here you can see something here, or if I open it like this, this is, if I click here, context menu, these are the UI action, these are the UI action, these are the UI action, everything is a UI action for me. Okay, now if I come here, so UI action is normally the run on the server side. How we can run on the client side, that we already discussed in our last session. Now let's come back here. So on the UI action we have a majorly 5 or 6 check boxes. You can see here: form button, context menu, form link, banner, list button, list context, list link, and list type. So basically these are things. Form button means when you want to show something on this form part, that is called the form button here. Context menu, if you want to bring something on this particular menu here, that is called the context menu. Form link, if you want to put something in the down like this here, this is the form links here. Then you can put the list banner. It means on the list view, when you see this list view, let me open that part. Here, this is the list view. When you want to display the buttons here, that is called the list view banner here. List context menu, I'm talking about this context menu here. This is the list context menu here. Or, sorry, the list context menu, sorry, this is the list context menu, is this one. This one is the list context menu. And list choices, is this one is the list choices here. So it is up to you that where you want to do that part, where you want to add that particular UI action. Now the question comes where we can do the scripting part in this area. The scripting part is available by default because UI action doesn't work on the drag drop or the drop down values. In the UI action, I generally told in my classes as well, in my previous batches as well, that UI action is the one method in ServiceNow which you cannot do without scripting. Minimum script is required for the UI action. Okay, so how it works actually, let's come here. So this is the way that you can put it directly. What it's saying, that what we are doing here, that let's take a look at the script basic UI action. For example, we will build a form button. We say change an incident state to in progress. And how it's work, current.state is equal to 2. Let me select here on which table I want to be run. I want to be run on the incident table. Incident table, and now I come here. If you want to put any condition specifically, you can put it. Like say, if user has a role only, then this should be available. Then you can write the condition like we done in the last session as well. So what I'm saying, current dot state, is it be picking up? No, it's not picking up. Current dot state, so I have to be right here, is equal to 2. Yes, and then current dot update. It's not working. It means something wrong we are doing here. Maybe we're not putting the condition of the function name here. That is the reason. Let's see in the later on part. And then action.set redirect URL is the current. It means what I'm saying, when I click on the button name on the UI action button, then the state should be changed to the 2. It should be get updated and it should redirect me to the same place where I was be there. So this is the what. This is the line which helped me to understand that what happened when I click on the save and what happened when I click on the update. When I click on the save, it brings me on the same part. So that in this means reduction URL is the current only. When I click on the update, it means reduction URL is the list view. So you can see here, action.set redirect URL line is used in the UI action to redirect to the current record once the server-side script has run. If no redirection code is used when a UI action is passed on the form, it will take you the previous script. It means that is the default functionality in ServiceNow unless you will not specify in your UI action. So this is what we will be discussing in the second part. So like this you can say here, and let me see if we can run something here or not. Let me put the name LNGBR action on the form action name, move to in progress, and let save this. And when I click on the save, my record has been saved here. Oops, I guess it's picking up something else. If I click here save, my record has been saved here. Let's see if something is showing. Current dot. No, it's not showing anything to me. No problem. We will see in the upcoming time. Okay. So like this, we can make our UI action to be working condition. But again, I am repeating, in the UI action, we cannot work if we don't have the idea about the scripting. Without scripting, you cannot proceed because there's a no drop down, no drag drop, no simple English words are there. It is completely a scripting element which we have to be write it here. Now come to the last section for this, that is called the access control. Access control means specifically I'm talking about the ACL here. Access control list, ACL are there, and to access the ACL, the foremost point is that a user should have a security admin rights. Again, I remember one of the question which came in the CS exam, that how the security admin role work. It is a, if I show you here something, if you click here, click on the elevated role here, and this is the question which came in the CS exam, that it is the number one, it is a high security setting, it allows user to modify the access control, and it is a role based, plus it work on the session perspective. Let me click on the learn more if I can get something on this part. No, it's not be there. Let me click this. It means now I am giving this role to this particular user, and when I click on the update in the San Diego, a new functionality has been launched by ServiceNow. As soon as I click on the part, you can see this become red and the up arrow is coming, which indicates that this user is now having the elevated role. It means this user can make any changes in the access control list. Now the question comes, how the access control list work. I'll search for the ACL, open the ACL here, and now click on the new here. And here you can see a button of the call advanced here. When I click on the advanced, it means I am getting an option for the scripting as well. What this book recommend, or what this book says, that ACL is the easiest way in the server side or the client side to be write a script. It is the smallest one. It don't contain very many things, a lot of things here. Smaller code it contain and it work easily. What it's saying, to do the control, this part, what it's saying, you have to put some conditions here. If the condition matches, because what ACL says, ACL work on these three parameters. Number one, this work if a user has a role, which has been mentioned in the role part. Condition in the condition field value evaluate, conditions in the condition field evaluate true. It means if I put any condition here, it means if I say that if the short description of an incident contain LNG only, then this script should run, otherwise it should not run. And how it's come, if you see here, we have an option here where you want to be record this ACL. Multiple things are there, record, insert or something, UI action, UI pages. These are things which are going to be discussed very soon in our upcoming classes. So I said when the record is, I want to be put on the record. When the record created, read, execute, I say I want to make it a read. If you remove this option, it means admin also cannot override this particular ACL. It means admin also has to face this particular or tackle this particular access control. Generally, we should avoid it. We should not make it as a tick box, because I don't want that admin can go and make any changes without the proper access. Okay, and then here it come on which table you want to be run. I want to be run on the incident table. Incident table. Do you want to put this ACL on a specific field? This is the what functionality ServiceNow say. I remember in 2014 or 15 when I appeared for an interview, the question has been asked to me that Atul, do you know that how ACL work? I remember 2 points only. I said yes, ACL work on the two types, either on the table level or on the record level. Other than this, I don't know anything. And now I came to know that how this actually executed. This is a table level. This is the field level. If I put in a specific field, it means this ACL will work only on this particular field called number. If I put none, it means there's no ACL on the field. It is ACL on the table level. It means user is not able to see this table unless he or she has a proper access given in the role part. Now come to the scripting here. But to do this part, it is required that a user should have a elevated role. It means to define, to configure, to write the script, a user is required this particular role. The good point is that as this is a server-side script, so we can use the glide system here. GS dot, and there things are working very fine easily. So you can see here. So what it's saying, if I pick up this code, let me say, or what problem statement there, we will allow write access to the task number field if a user is part of the current assignment group. It means I want that the number field on the task table should be write by the user who is the part of that particular group. It means if the logged in user is part of that particular assignment group which has been selected, only then he or she can do this particular operation. So if I make it here, come here, and I'll just put it here, gs dot get user. Why I'm putting, because just to be sure that how it will look like is, again the function is also there. Then I'll put current dot, I'm not sure that it is work or not, assignment group, we have to be write manually, underscore group, and this way. Okay, so this is what I am putting a script here, that if the logged in user is part of the current assignment group, only then he can write it. If I need to be in this case, I need to write a number, and I put as a write access or the here. It means if a user is part of this group, and maybe I can say role contain ITIL, only then he or she can able to make a change on the number field of the task table. This is what we are going to be achieved via this particular ACL. Now if you see here, the same thing we have done. I intentionally make it as a uncheck because I don't want that admin can do some changes here. If you want, you can put it easily on this part. Okay, so these are the three sections which we have to be understand here. But it says access control scripting is fairly short and no need to be such complicated code here, because generally we use ACL to make the security part, not for the day-to-day operation. I don't want that someone can open my mailbox without they are be logged or unless they have a delegated role given by me. So these kind of cases we have to be write it here. Generally, as per my experience, I saw that to make the field restrictions, to make the module restriction, to make the table restriction, we use ACL, but for a limited part, not for the each and every one. We don't do this using for the complicated cases. Now the question come as a best practice, as a use case. This is the important interview question which can be asked to the techno-functional consultant or the functional consultant as well. Why I'm using these words? Because I had a lot of friends who work in the different companies, and they say that if you are appearing for an interview in their company, it doesn't mean that you are just for a functional consultant role. They can ask the technical questions as well. It can be asked to create some reports. It can be asked to do something on the PA. It can be asked to be define some workflows, at least the basics workflow or something you should know. So in these cases, it is required for people like me to be understand that what is the use case for the server side script. So it says that server side scripts definitely is used as, or you should use as much as you want, but before using it, try to go for the configuration, not the customization, because server side scripting is completely called or fall under the customization world only. More you write the code, more you write the script, more tough for you to be maintained during the upgrades or the different releases. Now, what is the first use case of when to write a server side script? It says when changing the form value. If you want that as soon as I make a change in the user record, I want that something should be appear for me, then you can use the before business rule. Like say, if I entered the date of birth, I want that in the background my age gets stored in one of the field, then you can use the changing form value and you can use the business rule or the UI action. But it is again important. This point says in the I can say server side scripting as well, the two concepts, business rule or the UI action. Again, this is a very minute question asked in the interview, that why and when to use the BR and when to use the UI action. So what they say is, if you want to change the value when a user make a click, then go for the UI action. But if you want there's a no action required from the user, then you can go for the before business rule in these type of cases. If you want to restrict access to form and the field, then you can go for the access control scripting part. It easily, as it is said, it clearly said, anything you want to restrict on the form or the field, ACL is the only solution here. I'll not say that ACL is not the right word, but the right word is access control is the right word here. Okay, if you only need to use role or condition in the control access form, then that is a preferred as a configuration. But if you want to make little more complicated, then it become the configuration, where you are referring one field in the other table or in the other form where you want to do some parameters checking here. The third use case, what it suggests, that passing value to the client side. In the previous session as well, we saw that from the client script I am passing some value to the server side, or from the server side I am passing some value to the client side. In this case, you can use the you can use the business rule specifically like this. And what business rule? I must say we should use a display business rule here. So these are the few use cases which if you or me as a consultant remember, it can help us to crack the interview and give a confidence that when we are discussing the technical things with the technical team, we understand what they are talking here, what code they are talking here, and we can put our comments as well. So this is what we are doing here. Now let's take a quick review part on this, that what we have done. So before that, how to test a server side script. This is very much important. So like we have a js.log, we put some specific messages. So in the server side scripting, we have a concept called the gs.log. It means that in this part, we are capturing our server side scripts in this particular logging part like this. Server side log. So I can put my specific use case, I can put my specific message, and we can use that part. So how it's work, where we can go and check that my script is working or not, you can come here and you can search for the script, and I forget the name, sorry, script log statements. Yes, script log statement. So if you open this and if you define js.log, all the things will be captured here for you. That is the place where you can open your script and you can see that is my code is working fine or not. You can check on the messaging part that is my code is working fine or not. So this is the first method you can use. And generally how the developer use, they are using maybe in their script they are putting like this, current.caller ID and gs.log current caller plus user. But again, what ServiceNow or what this book recommend, don't put a lot of gs.log, or if you want to put, you can put, but remove it when you're putting your code in the production. Otherwise your logs will be too heavy and you are not able to debug the actual usage. So if you know that okay, this portion can be stuck in the production, is already causing some issue or maybe delaying some issue, let's put some logs here so that in the production area I can go and make a check on that part. That is the first part. Now the second part say how to logging in the scoped application. gs.log did not work properly in the scoped application. So what is the scoped application? Let me show you. If I come here and I can click here, so these are the scoped application. These all are the scoped application. So if you are writing any script, we will see our workflow scripts. We will see our workflow scripts as well. If you are writing any workflow script which is specific to these scoped application, then gs.log will not work for the user. In this case, we have to be use the separate method which is called the error, warn, info and debug. But it work with the GS only. That is called the glide system. It work with the glide system only. And how it's work? gs.error, gs.warning, gs.info and gs.debug. What this means, that debug, info, warn, error, they have a separate categories that up to what level a developer want to debug it, his or her issue, and where you can check all these things. You can check the things in the application log. So if I go here and search for the application logs, this one, and here you can find out easily all the scripts which is running on the scoped application, and you can get the part. So this is called the level 1. Level is the info. Let me try to make it as a group by, let's see if I have anything else or not. So as of now, everything which I have is only for the info. It means I'm using this part only. By default, only info is enabled. If you want, you can put it. Generally, what I saw a practice with my development friends, they use the debug log only and only when they'll be getting the similar issue in the production and they're not able to find out any other things from the user interface perspective. Then we update the gs.debug and we get the complete error message or the error code in that area. The next one which we can use is called the session debug. Session debug means if I'm opening a form and I want to see that how it is be working, then we have an option called which is called the system diagnostic. So I can come here, system diagnostic. Under system diagnostic, I have a multiple things. I have a script debugger, I have a script tracer, component status, progress, everything is there. Generally we use the script debugger. So like this is the debugger here. If you want to see that how many scripts or how many things has been running, what I can say, let me start the tracer here and then come here and try to be reload that. Let's see what is happening when this page has been run. It is nothing has been finding here as of now. Let's come here and do like this. I'm sure it will not save now because in our previous session we done some changes, but it is not working. Okay, let me try to reload this page and see that it is my script work, is tracer is worker or not. So now my tracer is working. Let me stop the trace here. Generally developer don't run the tracing for every time. They run the tracing for the limited cases. You can click here and you can see that what is the state, what is the script it using and what is the transaction it using. If you want to open the script in the debug, you can open in the debug part like this. You can open it, you can check it. So like this way you can do the debugging part here. This is what in this book they are saying. So if you want to do the system diagnostic, you can do, otherwise you can go for the system security as well. In the system security, if I show you, this is the another way to do the logging or the checking. System security here, and here you can find it, the things. If I scroll down a little bit more, you can find the debugging methods here. So you can do the debugging for the security system, specifically for the ACLs I am talking here. You can do that part here. Okay. The next one, which is it's called the script debugger, which we already saw that how to enable that. Before you have to be open the trace, and then you can make the system debugger open at your side. This is what we have done till now. Now let's see some example that what it's saying for the business rule. Let me come here and run for a business rule here. Let me close this part. Business rule. And why this business rule, what we are going to do, we are making that if a title has a director, then user should not able to delete that particular record and the action should be aborted. So now let's come here in the business rule and let's say put like this, and I can say lng br I want to be run on the sys user table. Okay, let me scroll down. This is my sys user table, and I click on the advanced here. Run before, yes. Update, yes. Then action, don't want an action. Advanced is you can put a condition here as well if you want, or you can directly copy this code and paste it here. Let me paste here. Now we can just format this part and we can see that is anything appearing for us. Yes, it will be appear because we are using GS. Let me see, current dot abort will also appear. Yes, it is appearing. Current dot abort. What is the full name? Set abort. Current dot set abort. So this is one action is appearing here. So it means that if I go to the user table, I want to be delete any record, I'll get a message. Let's save this part and let's try this record here. dev/sysuser.list, and let me search some ID called lng, and let me put the title as a director. Okay, now cannot delete the director even though it was not there, but still the business rule is running now. It means our business rule is running exactly fine at point of time. Means I don't want to be, you cannot delete a director even though there is some error here because it does not contain any director word here, but still I'm getting this particular business rule. So this is the first example we saw for the business rule here. The next example we are going to be see on the UI action part, where what I'm going to be do, I am saying that UI action should be work if the current dot assignment group, the person is a part of that current dot assignment group, only then he or she can assign that record to their name. So let's come down here and create a new this part UI action, and I will do this part on the chain table because incident is already breakdown for me, so I cannot work on the incident. Let me come here. I'll put assign to me, even though this is by default given by ServiceNow nowadays, but still if you want to do, you can do change underscore request table, this one, and I can put on the field here and I can put the condition. What condition I have to put? This is the condition for me, that if this condition is matching, that it means gs.getUser, it means go to the database and get the user and check is this a member of the current assignment group. If yes, then do this part, copy and paste it. Let's see if I put current dot, nothing is working for me, but if I put gs dot, it will work for me. Okay, so this is what we are going to be do. Let me show you something here now. how it will look like. So this is what assigned to me, and this is the condition I am putting here. And let save this and open a change request. And new normal. So now I'm not getting this option. Why? Because I did not met the condition. gs.get user id is part of this. Let me see if I put any group here. Because I'm not the part of this group, let me update this group. Open this group here and let me add my name. Oops. Let's do this thing. User admin, open the group. What is the group name is called? Application_development. Let me search for this. And let me add group member as a admin here. This is what my user ID or name. Save here, and now let me run this part. Let's see if our code is working fine or not. No, it's still not working. Let's see if I can get option. No, I'm not getting any option. It means something wrong with my group assignment group here, which is not working at point of time for me here. Okay, but this is an example that you can do on the UI action part very easily. Okay, even though we are doing on the change part, they are doing on the incident part. That doesn't matter. And the last, for the access control part, the same thing which we done is that if user is a part of this group, only then he or she is able to approve the change here. So this is what I bring it, guys, for you with my best knowledge and the best understanding from the server-side scripting. If you like, please put your comments, share with your friends, and definitely I'm going to meet you soon with the advanced server-side scripting very soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.